It's not even controversial anymore.
People know in Florida their freedoms are going to be respected.
Miranda, hello.
Hello.
Your governor put out a poll asking Floridians, what should our response be to Mamdani's election in New York City? Should it be build a Florida border wall, tariff all transplants, or recruit new transplants? Most people say build a Florida border wall.
That's what I voted for, yes.
Why? Why? You don't want New Yorkers New Yorking Florida?
Well, they can come here if they don't come here with any sort of, New York state of mind. But
Okay.
honestly, until I buy a house, they need to stay out of Florida.
Yeah, I saw this article, the headline from Fox Business, NYC election fears drive $100 million Florida real estate surge as nervous New Yorkers flee south. So in it, they talked to a developer who's the CEO of a Miami-based development company. Says his company has closed more than $100 million in signed contracts from New York buyers in just the past few months, which is twice last year's volume.
Yeah, I mean, part of my photography business is in the real estate sector, and my realtors have been waiting for this. They are just so excited because they know they're already putting out these funny memes and stuff on their Instagrams. They know that it's coming, it's inevitable. And the problem is it does drive up prices, it forces locals out. So there's going to be a little bit of both. There's going to be a lot of New Yorkers coming here, but I do foresee a lot of locals moving to places like Texas and the Carolinas because it is just almost unaffordable to own a home, especially in Miami. And the same song is in Tampa, Fort Lauderdale, all the major cities in Florida. It's very difficult to be a, just normal working family and own a home down here. So there's going to be an exodus and a bunch of people coming at the same time.
Yeah, and we kind of alluded to it, but as we speak, you have offers in on a house. And so two offers on two different houses, trying to figure out which one will give it to you first, basically. So you're like in real time, because I'm sorry, but if I were those home sellers and this was the election result, I would take those homes off the market if I could afford to, and I'd put them back on in 6 months.
For sure. And I have been pressing my boyfriend about this because he just kind of is like a blue collar man. He stays out of, the noise of the world. So when I tell him things like this, that we're in like a really great position, but there's a pinch coming because of what's happening in New York, he doesn't really understand it. And now like that it's a reality, I'm like, we need offers on houses. We need to do this right away. And so he's kind of understanding, and my realtor kind of told him like, no, we need to make this happen this week. So
yeah, because it's gonna happen fast. And even this developer in this article said that these buyers from New York are getting a lot more aggressive in their offers and their decision making. Like they're like, I'm moving now. I need a place now. All right, let's talk about, since we previewed it, there was a socialist running for mayor of Miami, which she was laughed at. She's like this old white librarian looking lady. And people are like, you do realize there's a bunch of Cubans here who fled communism and they're not going to vote for a socialist. I'm going to guess she didn't win.
She did. She did secure about 411 votes, though, as of today.
I guarantee they were all white, college educated Nepo babies who it's the common theme. So Miami's elections are very interesting because they're technically nonpartisan. So that's the same with us. Like people know what the candidate is, but it doesn't say it on the ballot. But also they have to get a majority of votes to win. So you can't, there was like 13 people on the ballot. You can't win with like 45%. So the top two go to an immediate runoff, right?
Yeah. So our top two, they are a Democrat and a Republican.
Yeah, it just doesn't say it on the ballot.
And as much as it doesn't say it on the ballot, and as much as it's nonpartisan, like if you do your research, you know what people are and what they're running for.
Yeah.
And so there was quite a few Republicans on the ballot. So those votes got pretty, divvied out,
Yes.
So it'll be interesting because when I was doing my own little voter math on the election results, it's still looking like the runoff election will be a really close call. And this would be a huge win for Democrats in the state of Florida if they happen if Eileen Higgins ends up winning,
Yeah.
because it's between her and Emilio Gonzalez. Eileen is a commissioner in the city, and Emilio was the city manager for a little while. So they both have, experience in Miami and experience with politics here in the city. But it will be interesting I think the runoff election is December 9th. So I'm not sure who's going to win. I would hope that a bunch of Republicans come out and, stake their claim, because Miami-Dade County went red for the first time in 40 years last year. So it'd be nice to see it stay that way.
Yeah, there are more registered Democrats in Miami than there are registered Republicans, but your longtime mayor is a Republican, and so they've elected Republicans for a long time. There's this tidbit I didn't realize. It said, should she win, Miss Higgins, who's a white lady, I think it's important for this context, would become the city's first female mayor, and Miami has not had a Democratic mayor or a non-Hispanic mayor since the 1990s. So Republicans, despite the fact it should be going blue by people based on their registered affiliation, they haven't had a Democrat since the 90s. And since the 90s, it's always been someone of with a Hispanic background. And so Emilio, just based on the fact that he's Hispanic and he's a man, he's a Republican. That is really what Miami voters have chosen for 30 years.
Yeah, and I think in a city like Miami, like their Hispanic background plays a huge role in voter turnout for them, because, if anybody's been to Miami, like it is predominantly Hispanic people and, Spanish speaking, and I think that they feel very represented when they have a mayor that falls along that line. So it would be very interesting if Eileen did pull it off.
Yeah, well, I'm sure she'll get the 400 something votes the socialist got, and then, maybe the rest will go to the Republicans. So interesting stuff, Miranda. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's not even controversial anymore.
People know in Florida their freedoms are going to be respected.